What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Fire Podcast, where we want to stoke the flames of freedom every single day. My name is Kendall Bowman. We got a loaded show for you guys. But before we get into that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. All right, guys. Oh, let's get into this. So the footage from the arrest of Mr. Tyre Nichols was released over the weekend. And unfortunately, because I run a show talking about these things, we got to talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys the video. It's extremely brutal, just to give you guys a warning. I'm going to show you guys this video, and then I'm going to talk about it. So these cops are arresting him. I believe he's handcuffed at this point, maybe not. But they're holding his hands behind his back and just boom, boom. This officer's going to come around again. Boom. Just 5-on-1, holding his hands behind his back and just absolutely wailing on his face. Now, I am someone who used to be a big proponent of back in the blue. You know, I was always on the side of the cops. And then I saw what happened to George Floyd. And then I saw what was going on with COVID, where these cops would hear a decree from some governor and they would just treat it as law. You know, these governors were basically stating, okay, you know, I'm just going to make up rules for COVID, and the cops, you guys are just going to enforce it for me. And the cops went along with it. And then I see stuff like this, and I'm just disgusted, man. 5-on-1. I keep seeing all these videos where these cops, where it's like 3, 4, 5-on-1, and they're just struggling so badly to just detain one person. I'm like, come on, guys. There's 5 of you. Do your job. This is what you get paid to do. Get your crap together. Beating a man, like I keep hearing this all the time when it comes to the Back the Blue people. Oh, just comply. Just comply and you'll be fine. Take it up in court. This man didn't get to go to court. There's only so much you can comply with. I'm sorry. If there's a group of men, I don't care if they're cops, I don't care who they are. If there's a group of men who are just holding me in place and pounding on my face and just wailing on me, I'm sorry. There's only so much that you can comply with. This video, of course, was released over the weekend, and it resulted in a lot of protests all over the country, as it should. It also resulted in some looting and things like that. There was this video of this GameStop here that was broken into and looted. I believe that there was also a Hibbett Sports that was broken into and looted. There was some other minor damage done all over the country. I honestly expected it to be much worse than it was. I expected it to be on levels of like Summer of Love, the BLM riots type of stuff. I just got to say this, man. I just got to say this when it comes to rioting and looting. Like, when it came to the BLM riots after what happened to George Floyd, okay, all of America, well, not all of them, most of America, even people on the right, were behind the BLM movement. We were behind it. We were all for it because we saw the video and we thought that what happened to George Floyd was wrong. And then the riots happened. And the Antifa and BLM rioters started to not only destroy billions of dollars in private property. That's not really what I'm upset about, because, you know, property can be replaced. It wasn't in all situations, but it can in some. What I'm upset about when it comes to these riots and looting and things like that is during the BLM riots, they started to attack and kill innocent business owners who were just trying to protect their businesses. And that's something I'll never support, because you can sit there and say all day that, oh, there's innocent black people being killed by the cops. And I say, okay, that's fine. I'm not seeing a whole lot of proof for that. But if you're going to sit there and say that, that's fine. But you can't say that and then turn around and support a movement that was beating business owners in the street who were innocent just trying to protect their businesses. Beating them to death. Over 30 deaths happened in that way. A certain David Dorn comes to mind. He's an ex-cop who is trying to protect the business of one of his friends. And a guy shot him over a television. All because they decided to get out of hand and riot and kill people. Guys, I'm all for this. I told you before, this is wrong. This video here where these cops are just pulverizing Tyre Nichols' face, this is wrong. These cops should be thrown in prison. Throw away the key, man. Just let them rot as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, if you're going to turn around and do the exact same thing to innocent business owners, you've lost my support. Sorry, I'm not going to support a movement that kills innocent people. Now, when it comes to this situation and the looting and rioting, it was very minimal, and I'm very happy about that. But I'm just saying this as a warning, guys. The rioting, the looting, and killing of innocent business owners is what took away all of the support during the BLM riots. During the BLM riots, like I said, almost all of America was behind BLM. We were supportive. And then they started killing innocent business owners and destroying businesses and destroying people's livelihoods. And that's where you lost us. Because we're not going to tolerate that in America. We just don't. We don't tolerate it. And we've been putting up with it for way too long at this point. All right, that's all I got to say about that. We got another story for you guys today. Israel launches drone strikes on Iran from the post-millennial. One of the drones was brought down by Iran while two others exploded above the target. Those small drones targeted an Isfahan munitions factory, which is located next to the U.S.-sanctioned Iran Space Research Center. Israel launched a drone strike against a defense compound in Iran on Sunday. This is as the U.S. and Israel are working together to curb Iran's military and nuclear programs, which could threaten the region. U.S. officials familiar with the operation told the Wall Street Journal Iran said that they had successfully fended off the Israeli attack, which consisted of 3 quadcopters. One of the drones was brought down by Iran while 2 others exploded above the target. Those small drones targeted an Isfahan munitions factory, which is located next to the U.S.-sanctioned Iran Space Research Center. The target of Israel's attack, the Journal reports, was a warehouse located behind a mall in Isfahan that Iran said was an ammunition storehouse. There was only minor damage to that building per satellite imagery. Israel did not comment on the matter, but Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian, something like that, said such actions cannot impact the determination and intent of our experts for peaceful nuclear progress, and called the strike cowardly. However, Israel's top general told the Wall Street Journal last week that preparations for the worst-case scenario were already underway. The armed forces of the U.S. and Israel have been working together on joint military exercises, including the largest one held between those two nations, which occurred last week. This exercise, which involved more than 7,500 personnel, saw troops and military leaders testing out various scenarios to test their ability to take out air defense systems and refuel jet planes, both of which could be key elements of a major military strike on Iran, the Journal reports. Now, I am very torn on this story. And the reason why is because I consider myself to be an American populist, okay? I believe that our government should be doing the best, should be creating the best life that it possibly can for its people, okay? Our government should be working for us and only for us, okay? But I'm also a Christian, and I have a very deep love and connection with Israel. So I'm very torn on this because I don't think that the United States should be going around all over the country and trying to police everyone and getting involved in things like this. But in the same breath, I have to think that Iran has stated in the past, not just some Iranian citizens, not a terrorist group that is just stationed in Iran. No. The Iranian government has stated that they would like to nuke Israel. This is a problem. It's unacceptable. Now, I don't like that the U.S. is involved in this. I really don't. I don't think that we should be spending so much money and giving so much weaponry to Israel. I think that we should help smaller countries to the point that they just simply get off the ground and are able to sustain themselves. And then as soon as that happens, we should dip. But other than that, I don't think we should really be involved. As for, the Christian side of me, I just don't understand why Iran, a, Muslim nation, is so adamant about destroying Israel. I get it. You don't like Jews. I get that. But other nations have started to be very kind and be very open to Israel. You look at the Abraham Accords. Things like that were able to open up things like trade and travel between Israel and these other Islamic nations. Listen, guys, I am someone who always wants peace. I understand in some situations it's not always possible. But this has to come to a peaceful conclusion. Because I'm telling you, Iran is not Jordan. Iran is not Egypt. Iran is not Syria. Iran is not Lebanon. Iran is a much more powerful nation with a much more powerful military. And a war between Israel and Iran will result in a lot of death and a lot of destruction. It will displace millions of people, and it will only cause more problems all over the world. I'm hoping and praying that we can come to a peaceful conclusion to this and that this type of stuff can stop. But at the end of the day, I understand that Israel has to protect itself from a nation that has stated in the past that they want to wipe Israel off the face of the map using nuclear weapons. I get it. It's a tough situation. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I hope that it can come to a peaceful conclusion. Like I said, I'll leave it there. Next story for today. From The Guardian. Police say 3 dead, 4 hurt in latest California shooting. 3 people were killed and 4 others were wounded in a shooting at a short-term rental home in California early Saturday morning, police said. The shooting occurred at about 2:30 a.m. in Beverly Crest, an upscale Los Angeles neighborhood. Sergeant Frank Preciado, not sure if I said that right, correct me down in the comments, of the Los Angeles Police Department said earlier Saturday that the 3 people who were killed were inside a vehicle. 2 of the 4 other victims were taken in private vehicles to hospitals, and 2 others were transported by ambulance. Police spokesperson Sergeant Bruce Bohirhan said. Once again, not great with names, guys. 2 were in critical condition and 2 were in stable condition, Borhan said. The ages and genders of the victims were not immediately released. Investigators were trying to determine if there was a party at the rental home or what type of gathering was occurring. Borhan said police have no information on suspects. This is the 4th mass shooting in California this month. For the 3rd straight year, the U.S. in 2022 recorded more than 600 mass shootings in which at least 4 people were killed or injured, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Now, I am a 2A supporter. I support the Second Amendment. I don't think that violent criminals should be allowed to have guns because they had their chance to be law-abiding citizens, and they chose to be violent. They chose to be a criminal instead. So in terms of California, guys, this is happening all the time in these states that supposedly have these strong gun laws. Okay? I know it happens in states like Texas. You look at the Uvalde shooting, which was disgusting, but even that shooting happened at a school in a quote-unquote gun-free zone. This is what I don't understand. When you make these laws that are so vehemently against guns, and you make certain areas sitting ducks, what do you think is going to happen when a psychopath turns up with a gun? What do you think is going to happen? Schools, churches, businesses, entire states, like it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, criminals are going to get their hands on guns. I recently saw a video of a man who was farming in Northern California. And he stated that the cartels, these Mexican nationals, these are criminals, okay? They're coming to Northern California. They're taking water away from the local farmers, and they're using it to grow things like marijuana and things like that, to grow illegal drugs. Now, whether or not you want to say that things like that should be illegal, that's not what I'm talking about right now. But as for this situation, these cartels are using, a lot of the times, automatic weapons to protect their grow sites. So these farmers will call the sheriff and they'll say, hey, these cartels are stealing water from my property and using it to grow illegal drugs. I need you to come do something about this. And you know what the sheriff says? He says, look, dude, it's me and one other deputy. That's it. That's all we got. I'm not about to send myself or an officer out there to have a freaking gunfight with the cartels. And so the criminals run the society. This is the problem, guys. This is the problem with turning schools or businesses or local areas or even entire states into quote-unquote gun-free zones, because they don't work. The cartels don't care. The mass shooters don't care. The psychopaths don't care about the little sign that says gun-free zone. They're going to take the gun and they're going to walk right in and start shooting people. You want to know why? Because they know that nobody else can shoot back. It reminds me of a story about the Buffalo, the shooting that happened in Buffalo, New York. I believe this was 2021. Might have been 2020. I'm not sure. I think it was 2021. But this guy was obviously a white supremacist piece of crap. But he wrote a manifesto and put his manifesto out on the internet. And in that manifesto, it stated that the reason why he had chosen this store is because, one, he was a white supremacist and he knew that a large population of black people lived in the area. And that's who he wanted to kill because he's garbage. But he also chose that area. And mind you, this is his writing. It's not me saying this. This is what he wrote in his own manifesto. He said that he chose that spot because he knew that the people there would either be unarmed or would have guns that are cucked or not very useful, in other words. Guys, it's not working. Like this article says, what does it say? A fourth mass shooting in a single month in the state of California. This state has the strictest gun laws in the entire country. It's almost impossible to get a gun as a law-abiding citizen. It's not working, guys. It's not working. People are still dying. Mass shootings are still happening. People are still being killed with guns. You need to let people arm themselves. You need to allow people to defend themselves with equivalent weapons to what the criminals have. If the criminals are going to have automatic weapons, which we have seen in terms of the cartels, then why can't we have that? It's only gonna result in more people dying. If the criminals are able to get, their hands on shotguns, high-powered rifles, semi-automatic pistols, whatever. If they're able to get their hands on those things, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do when a psychopath turns up with a gun? Just sit there with our hands in our pockets and let the guy shoot us? Oh, you're supposed to run away. Try to jump out of a window. Okay, what if I'm on the 5th floor of a building? What if he's trapped me in a room? What am I supposed to do? Just die, apparently. That's what California wants. Just die. Just let the psychopath kill you. That's what California's saying. That's what New York is saying. That's what Illinois is saying. Psychopath turns up with a gun? How dare you try to defend yourself? How dare you? You should just let the psychopath kill you. Just let him kill you. Become a martyr for their anti-gun movement. Now, thankfully, I live in the state of Texas, where we have a constitutional carry law, where we are allowed to carry a gun open or concealed without the consent of the state government. And thank goodness, because shootings have actually dropped. Now, like I said, you got the Uvalde shooting that did happen. You've had some other shootings, but guys, 90% of these mass shootings are happening in quote-unquote gun-free zones. The gun-free zones aren't working. The gun laws to try and control guns, it's not working. Taking guns away from law-abiding citizens who just want to defend themselves and don't want to hurt anybody, it's not working, obviously, because this is the 4th mass shooting in a single month in the state of California. It's not working, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another show coming for you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.